when it really counts. Depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
We'll have variable cloudiness today with a high of 81 to 85, then mainly clear skies this evening. Low tonight, 59 to 70. Tomorrow will be a sunny day, high on Tuesday, 76 to 79. Then Wednesday, sunny to partly cloudy, should be a nice day, high on Wednesday, 72 to 75. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Finally, shipping made easy. Just Ship is your answer to your shipping aggravation. They come pick up your package and ship it for you. Birthday gifts, eBay sales, or an online return. Just Ship can handle all of them for you. Act now and you can save 20% on an annual subscription, which will take you through the 2020 holiday months. Go to www.justship.net now and take the aggravation out of shipping.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
That's right. Hour number 3 already. The third hour.
It went by fast.
Goes by fast. Well, you got Galen at the very beginning. You had Sonda Eunice, who is much better than you and I. So
heck yeah. And she's better looking, too.
That's an hour and a half.
And she smells nice, too. She left the studio. It was smelling good for a while.
I don't smell nice?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not chewing.
little seriousness here. I got to tell you about this.
Okay.
The National Transportation Safety Board has released its preliminary report on the plane crash that killed Ocala Police Chief Greg Graham, October 25th. There's nothing in here that's going to tell you exactly what caused the crash, because the agency is yet to determine what caused the final caused the crash.
Why are they putting anything out then?
Well, they reviewed air traffic controller communications and radar data provided. They determined Graham was not in communication with air traffic control at the time of the crash. He was the pilot and the sole person on board. So far, everything that they've said, I know. Now, here's where it goes. He turned the plane towards the southeast, flew over Lake Weir before turning on a westerly track towards Marion County Airport near Denellen. The plane's altitude was between 1,250 and 1,300 feet. Now, here's what I didn't know. 4 minutes into the flight, the plane slowly went down to about 900, then climbed to an estimated 1,000 feet. The report then states between 10:51 and 39 seconds and 10:52:02 of the flight time, the plane decelerated from a ground speed of 94 knots to 47 knots. A second later, the plane climbed to 1,025 feet. The plane then entered what's called a descending left turn before the data ended at 10:52:12. At that time, the plane was about 600 feet above the ground and moving at a speed of about 60 knots. The plane, officials said the plane hit a large open field in a nose low attitude. Pieces of the left wingtip were in the dirt, and the plane traveled about 120 feet before stopping. There was no fire. So I talked to some people I know in the aviation industry. Yeah. Sources in the aviation industry said from the preliminary report, it looks like that there was probably an issue with the engine. And the chief was trying some maneuvers that all pilots know to try to kind of hop along the air to get to a glide pattern where he could land. And sometimes you do that, and it doesn't go as planned, and you crash. And so it looks like the chief knew something was wrong with his plane. He was trying to maneuver through the air to get it to an airport if he could, and he just couldn't.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that from the people I talked to in aviation said it's just one of those things where everybody would try to do those maneuvers, and if they work, it's great. And if they don't work, you have what happened.
Yeah.
So terrible outcome. We lost the police chief, but
a good man too.
The NTSB still says it'll be probably 18 months to 2 years before they have a final report. So. Yeah. Just bring you up to date on that. Just terrible tragedy. Yeah. But had to update you.
That's the news, yeah.
So, Greg Graham was a good guy. Came on this show a couple weeks before he passed.
He put up with you.
Yeah, he put up with me. Believe me. I do miss his he would send me 2 or 3 texts a week. during football season about why Florida had no shot at winning the upcoming game. And the reason that's funny,
It is.
he was a Gator fan.
Oh.
It wasn't like he cheered for somebody else. He would text me reasons Florida couldn't win, and he was a devout Gator fan.
Oh, well. I watched some football over the weekend.
What are you doing watching sports?
It was a Dolphins game. I have no idea who they were playing against. I just seen it was a Miami Dolphins. And, let's see how they were
They're
playing.
playing the Los Angeles Chargers.
Again.
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1. Oh, you never heard that song?
Unfortunately, I just heard it now.
Believe me, it sticks in my head and it drives me crazy.
Well, it was a pretty good game. I didn't watch. I watched like five plays, and then that was all done.
Yeah, it was a good football game. I watched it.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I was like, okay.
I watched the whole thing.
Well,
It's a good football game.
weekends, I had too much to do. I'm cleaning my garage, and now that it's not 90 degrees outside, I can actually clean it.
But let me ask you something.
Sure.
Are you really cleaning it?
Yes.
Or are you just rearranging it?
Nope, I'm cleaning it, throwing stuff out. I'm going to have a yard sale in January.
You're throwing stuff out.
Yeah.
Don't let your son hear that. He'll come take it and put it over at his shop. Because you're not really the hoarder in the family.
Oh, yeah.
You're not the hoarder.
Oh, yeah.
Danny's a hoarder.
Maybe got it from me. I don't know. But I've got the whole.
And it's a project when you start a new garage. It's not something.
Well, you know what the problem is? You got to pull everything out to go through it, to throw it out, to move it over, and then you look and you say, "Oh, I had to move things back just so I can get my motorcycle back in the garage."
Certainly. And how many times do you get caught up in the going through stuff to see if it needs to get thrown out, and it's kind of nostalgia stuff and all, and then you sit there, because I have bins in my garage, and every now and then when we go to clean the garage, I forget what's in the bins. Then I open a bin, start going through it, and then I'm trapped for like 3 hours going, oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, this is when.
Yeah. Now, I got trapped for an hour. I had an old compressor that went down. Motor was good. The controls were bad. So I looked at the price, and it was like cost almost as much for the controls and the whole damn compressor. So I had bought a pancake compressor. So I took all the controls, everything, threw them all away. Took the motor off of it, which is good, and the compressor itself, which is good. It runs. I'll sell that at the yard sale for $40 or whatever. So now I've got the 2 double tanks sitting there. Took the valves off of them. I said, well, if I put this here, this is. So now I have my pancake compressor, which will feed the double chamber, which extends the capacity of my compressor. And I mounted it, and I had to make a board. I mounted it all, and now I have a double chamber, or triple chamber, really. So, and then I plug in, and my compressor is a little expanded.
I have no idea what you just said.
That's all right. Those who do, know.
Yeah, you know what that says to me? Call somebody that knows what they're doing.
I'm very mechanically inclined.
Like if I had a plumbing problem or anything, you know what I'd do?
Call somebody.
Mike Scott.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
major stuff I call, minor stuff I can do.
But no. Anything that is mechanical is major.
So no, you can't drive a nail and butter. Is that what you're telling me?
100%. And my dad was a champion auto mechanic.
What happened? Skip the generation.
No, he wouldn't let me out in the garage to help him. He wouldn't let me in his service station to help me. He said, as all fathers do, and how Danny got stuck in radio when you probably said this to him is amazing to me.
What?
I want you to do something better than what I'm doing.
Oh,
and he didn't want me to be my dad didn't want me to be a knuckle buster all my life like he was. So he refused.
That's an honest profession.
I thought so too, but he refused to let me go out in the garage. He said, "You're smarter than this. You need to have something better than me. My job as a father, is to make sure you have a better life than I had."
Now you have a different life,
right? And so he hamstrung me to the point now where I can't. I literally am allergic to power tools.
Sugar pops.
I'll give you a prime example.
Tell me, please.
We tried to, when we were going from one studio to the other, we had to put a hole in the wall to get wires to. And we're not talking about stereo speaker wire. We're talking about, something probably 1.5 inches around that's got fiber running through it and everything. So it had to be a sizable hole.
Yeah.
So we get the 3-inch drill bit that goes on your drill and it cuts through plywood and leaves a big 3-inch hole.
I'm listening.
Yeah, so we're tightening it up. I'm holding on to the bit so it'll tighten up. As it tightens up, when it tightens as tight as it gets, it grabs. When it did, my hand slid up the bit, sliced my finger right open from the saw bit. That's just one story. One time I was putting a screw.
No.
One time I was putting a screw into a floorboard, and the screw it was hitting concrete and wouldn't go in. So I'm spin, and I get frustrated. I go and I grabbed the screw.
That's hot.
Oh yeah, burnt my hand.
That's hot. Don't do that.
Yeah, because I'm a moron.
Don't do
when
that.
it comes
That's
to
hot.
Operating power tools.
Hot.
Yeah.
Even if you're taking a screw out of a board,
Hot.
Don't touch the screw. It's hot.
Yeah. I'm a power tool challenged moron.
It's friction.
That's why when anything goes wrong with my car, I take it to go get it fixed. Like my computer system's all messed up. I'm taking it to Matt Gibbs. He's going to do a run through.
Oh,
When some plumbing issue, I'd call Mike Scott because I would do more damage I would be like the guy in the commercials destroying the house. And then she goes, "Why didn't you call Mike Scott like I told?" That would be me.
That would
Matter of fact,
duct tape does not fix everything.
those commercials may be patterned after me. So the fact that you were out doing projects with the double bladder or the 7 compressors or 13.
Yeah, I was talking to the wall.
Yeah, nothing.
That's like you talking sports to me.
100%.
Nothing.
The same exact thing,
Yeah.
just a different situation.
Miami was playing. They were playing the Razors.
They were playing the Los Angeles Chargers.
Chargers.
Hey, let's go to the phone lines. Hi, caller. Who's this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father was a third-class petty officer in the Navy Seabees in World War II.
Cool, man.
And one trick they learned is when you're trying to drive a screw into wood, you coat the threads with soap before you start driving the screw. It helps immensely.
Yes. Yep.
And I thought I would pass that on from my
that works.
It's still
my
not
father's World War II experience.
It's still. Thanks for the call. It's still
That's
not going to
true.
help me.
Well, now if you have time, now the Seabees they didn't have
The
time.
Seabees didn't have time.
No, it was like that's got to go in that wood. Full coat it, zoom, and it's in.
Yeah, because they had to build airstrips in matters of days.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes hours.
Hours, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm an ex-CB too, so.
I thought you were a cook.
I was Navy, Naval Air, and CB.
Oh.
And Armed Forces Radio and Television.
So they did everything. You were a jack of all trades while you were in the Navy.
As I progressed through my career, yeah, in the Navy. If it wasn't Vietnam, I probably would have made a career out of it. But Vietnam, nope. No, you want to re-up? Come on, we'll give you $2,000. We'll change your rank. We'll change your MOS. We'll do what you want. How's that sound? No. Why? You love radio. Yeah, I do. But no, it's not there in Vietnam.
I'm going back stateside, and they do radio there without them shooting at me.
That's it. And I did stay in for the reserves for 7 years. So.
Did you ever meet Adrian?
Barbeau?
No, Adrian Cronauer.
No.
You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Good Morning Vietnam. The radio show. He worked for Radio America.
Oh, okay.
Robin Williams played him in the movie. Remember?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Adrian
Cronauer was an actual Army. He was in the Army, I think, or the Air Force. Maybe he was in the Air Force. It was one.
I don't know what it is.
But he worked for Armed Service Radio.
I've got tapes.
He aggravated people because he was playing music from that time period when the commanding officers wanted you to play Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald and stuff like
Vietnam, we had 3 radio stations. We had rock and roll, country and western, and elevator music. And the elevator music was automatic. That just in the background just played. But the country and western and rock and roll, that was DJs.
Right.
DJs.
One of my favorite lines in any movie ever is from the Blues Brothers.
Uh-oh.
When Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi go to the bar outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
Where the Green Mountain Boys are playing or something like that. And he says, "We're them." And he goes, "Ma'am." John Belushi goes, "Ma'am, what kind of music do y'all play in this establishment?" She turns around and looks at her and goes, "We got both kinds, country and western."
Oh, yeah, good line. Whoever writes this stuff, it was a good kind. Country and western.
We got both. What kind of music y'all playing here? We got both types, country and western.
Now, I like country western to a point, but I like bluegrass better.
You know, nobody calls it country western anymore. It's just called country.
Just called country. Good
But
Ocala.
bluegrass, you get a good bluegrass band like
Live. Live.
Where we lived in North Carolina,
Oh, yeah.
your next door neighbor may be part of a bluegrass band.
Oh, I knew a gentleman. If I had money, I would have resurrected the Andy Griffith Show, and he would have played Andy. This is a big, tall, nice looking man, strong. But could he play the banjo?
Right.
Oh, and he played. Let's see. You have picking, and you had strumming, and then there's the third one. But he could play that banjo. Oh, and the banjo is the loudest instrument in any of them. But a banjo can out acoustically,
right?
Can overshadow all the other ones. But yeah, he could play, and I like a good banjo player.
I went and sat on Doc Watson's porch and listened to him play before he passed away.
Really?
He lived right outside of Boone.
Oh wow!
He would have people, and you just come up and you'd drink your adult beverage and sit there and listen to Doc Watson play. And Doc Watson back then, probably in his middle 80s, and still just as gifted. Like
heck yeah!
I'm a big fan of Bella Fleck and the Fleck Tones. Bella Fleck is a banjo player. He's from that area.
Well, who's here in this area? He lives in Cedar Key out that way. That's Citrus County.
Okay.
Is that Citrus County down there?
Yeah.
And he's the one that taught Steve Martin to play banjo. I want to say his name is Mark.
I don't know.
But he's been on the air with us.
We'll have to look that up.
He's been on the air.
You had Bobby Goldsboro in here on the air with you,
yeah.
who's a talented musician.
Yeah, but he let me hold on. Let me hold his banjo, and on the backside it looked like roots of a tree.
Right.
But it was all what do you want to call it? Steel.
Right.
On the backside of it, I'm holding his guitar. His banjo in my hand, and it was not heavy, but it wasn't light either. And it was solid.
Right.
And he says, "Yeah, I make these are custom made for me, and I sell them. Just the banjo was $15,000 just for this one banjo."
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this thing, and then I gave it to him, and he was in the studio. And if we can get him back on, he can. I just sit there like you.
Well, you know who one of the most gifted guitar players and banjo pickers of all time was?
From Hee Haw?
Yep, Roy Clark.
That's it, yeah.
Without a doubt. Hi, caller. Who's this?
This is Jim Long. That's Mark Johnson you're talking about.
Mark Johnson.
There you go.
Thank you. That's the one. Yeah, I had the first name.
David Dean is also a good banjo player. Mark Johnson plays clawhammer style. That's the third one you're trying to think about. David Dean does three-finger picking, the flat and scrug style.
Yeah. What's the one when you kind of roll your fingers in a row, not picking, not strumming, but they kind of roll.
He just said
Claw.
It's a kind of a bum diddy bum biddy bum biddy bum rhythm. That's clawhammer.
Clawhammer. Okay.
Clawhammer. Well, there's
Mark Johnson's music is called clawgrass. He coined that phrase and that style of banjo playing. And you're right. Steve Martin flew him out to his place in California for a month or so.
Yeah.
To teach him to play clawhammer style banjo.
He still teaches, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, because he works for
when he has time.
He works for the county down there, doesn't he?
Him and Lester have a little band. The guy that flies in from Canada or somewhere play upright bass for him. He's got a bass that comes apart, so he can take it on a plane.
Wow. Well, thanks so much for that enlightening call.
Amazing.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Well-informed listener. Much more informed than me.
At least I read the first name.
You did read the first name. Just something about bluegrass music. And that goes back into the whole redneck thing that I told you about how you came up with the term redneck. Those are the same people that brought the Gaelic music from Ireland and Scotland over to the mountains.
Aye?
And it's what's evolved into bluegrass music.
Oh, the Highland Games.
Let me tell you something.
Let me get a telephone pole and throw
You get the right group of people together at a bluegrass festival, and you talk about a party.
Okay, now you were in Boone, up there, and I can't think of the name. It wasn't Boone. Oh, they made moves there. It's a main street is up in the mountain, but the main street's up in the mountain and it triples off, and they shut the whole main street down, and they had the town. It wasn't Blowing Rock.
It's not Blowing Rock, not Boone.
Not Boone, but in that area. I can't.
Linville.
No. Oh my.
Hawks Nest.
No, you go through. Well, you go from Asheville on 40 towards Tennessee, and it's
going up towards Boone.
Boone's away from Tennessee.
No, Boone's at the corner. Boone's
from Asheville, you take a right to go to Boone.
Yes, but because of how North Carolina is shaped and how Tennessee's shaped, I'm where I lived in North Carolina.
Yeah,
I could be in Tennessee in 20 minutes.
Oh, you're way up there. Yeah,
we're right up there in the very corner where I could be in Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, or North Carolina. Easy, because they all come together right there.
I can't think of the town. I can't. Well, anyway, they had this festival, and you can't park on Main Street. You got to park down below somewhere,
right?
Because the whole street is shut down, and you walk, and at one end, bluegrass, on the other end, and then they had three
stages.
Small stages, not these big. Where
we
20,
just need
30,
a banjo, a bass, a guitar player, and a drum
and a fiddle.
Well, you can have a fiddle. You don't have to have a fiddle, but you can have one.
Oh, but there was usually 4 or 5 pieces each area, and there goes 20 minutes at least.
Oh yeah,
at least and that's what you do. You go for the day, and you don't have to have a heavy wallet.
No.
Oh, and all the acts are free. You don't have to pay extra to go see this.
That's like in Linville. They had the Woolly Worm Festival, and the Woolly Worm is
Linville Falls.
Linville Falls. It's a woolly worm, and it's a caterpillar that comes, and you have to have it to pollinate certain crops up there and everything. And they throw a Woolly Worm Festival every year.
Why not?
And it's really just a big reason to have bluegrass music play.
Oh yeah. But live,
the arts and craft people show up with their painting, jewelry, and their wood burning signs and everything.
Oh yeah.
But it's really just a reason to drink beer and listen to bluegrass, or you at least say you're drinking beer and you don't talk about the clear stuff that's being passed around.
Spring water.
Well, it's non-taxable water.
Spring water. But
it goes down smooth.
Mm-hmm. It comes out smooth too.
Ooh. You get the right spring water.
Yeah,
it could be a good time.
That's it. And again, you're there, and nobody's pushing, nobody's shoving. It's just good folk, and especially if you get the ones that do the crafts by hand.
Oh yeah,
not the stuff that they all look the same because they're all made on the machine. And I got a CNC machine at the house and blah blah blah, and they all come out. No, everyone's different, and you look at it and say, "Damn, that's good stuff."
One of the coolest things I ever got from a festival like that was my ex-wife and I. She liked to have plants hanging on the front porch.
Oh yeah,
and we got a set of 10. For her to hang 10 plants. She had 10 plants she would hang from the porch. They were all macrame and bamboo.
Wow.
And they all, with wind chimes hanging at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it was, I think we paid, we bought 10 of them. I think we paid $100 for the 10 of them.
Yeah. Now,
and this lady made all of them by hand. There were ladies there with quilts. You could buy a handmade quilt for like $45-$50. Now, that was 25 years ago. I'm sure you go there now.
Oh, well, it's $150,
$300, $200. But still. It was handmade.
But up there, they have the little festivals all over the place. This weekend is here.
Everywhere.
And then the car shows are like, and of course, the big one's in Pigeon Forge. That's the big one.
That's in Tennessee.
Tennessee, sorry. Yeah. Now here, once a year, if they did it last year, they did a great job at Mount Dora.
Oh, in Mount Dora.
300,000. It's
that's a big car show.
No, not the car show. I'm sorry. My bad. They didn't have a car show. They had the arts and craftsies.
Oh, yeah, the Mount Dora Arts and Crafts.
Oh, my. Yeah. But they did something last year that was phenomenal. They have the train to drive through and then drive through.
And it backs up, yeah.
Right? Well, there's a Dairy Queen out there.
Right.
In the big parking lot, and you could park your car there, lock it, and get on the train. I think it was like $4.
Oh yeah,
and you buy the ticket ahead of time. And it takes you there, drops you off right in the middle of everything.
Right,
you have to no hassles with the roads.
Then you get back on the train, go right back to your park car done.
And the train comes every hour or every half hour.
That's perfect.
Oh, it's great.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, it's great time. Now get your walking shoes on though. Woohoo!
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure.
They pay bocce.
Hey, we got to take a timeout. After the timeout, I'm going to give you some numbers that hadn't been manipulated. That's a change, but it's not talking about the election. It's talking about something much more important than that.
Calories?
I'll give you I'll give you that information. And next, listen to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Dan Naraki.
With the news that a COVID vaccine is just on the horizon, a program must be undertaken to reverse the attitude of some Americans that are overly skeptical of the vaccine. Former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy believes that may be just as important as the logistics behind distributing it. He tells Fox News that the government will have to make data readily available for review to build people's confidence in the vaccine.
Now the onus is on us to be as transparent as possible in helping them understand what the science does say, having experts review the data, making that data readily available so that even people outside the government can review it. That's what we're going to have to do. And ultimately, the way we allocate this vaccine has to be determined based on need, and that alone.
A recent Stat Murphy poll found that only 6 in 10 Americans said they would take a COVID-19 vaccine if it would lower their risk of getting infected by half. This is USA Radio News.
Do you have health or energy challenges? Would you like to support your health and energy from a product that people consistently feel the uplifting and health-building effects from the first day they consume it? I introduce you to Green Meadow Whey, the only whey protein powder from grass-pastured cows that is processed in a manner that ensures that the proteins and amino acids remain in their correct geometric shape that the body can use. The naturally occurring proteins, peptides, and amino acids in renatured whey are proven to support multiple aspects of human health, from complementing your immune system to neutralizing chronic inflammation to supporting detoxification